I'm now joined by world-renowned bridal designer Caroline Castigliano. Caroline, thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Great to see you.
Thank you. So firstly, congratulations on nearly 21 years in the bridal industry.
I know, it's so terrifying.
Fantastic. Absolutely brilliant.
21 years.
I know.
Never have believed I could have done this for 21 years.
Really? How do you think bridal fashion's changed in those 20 years?
Oh, I think it's changed quite enormously, but I think it changed a lot, not so much to do with fashion. I think it was when it became that you could actually start to get married in so many different places, because of course 20 years ago it was either a religious ceremony or it was the registry office.
Okay.
And a registry office really was, you know, a little suit or something, whereas now it's the castle, it's on the beach, it's, you know, in a fabulous hotel, it's anywhere that you actually want to get married. So I think that really changed how girls actually perceived their wedding dress. It had a massive effect on the industry.
And what bridal trends are you predicting for next season?
Well, I really think things now are sort of just continuing along the basis of the relaxed glamour. I think things are very red carpet. The red carpet celebrity has had a huge effect on us. But I think it's done in quite a nice, relaxed sort of way. So we've got away from the sort of very traditional wedding dresses, and it has a flavour of fashion, and it's very relaxed, and it's glamorous. It's got that lovely femininity to it.
And drawing on that red carpet glamour, do you think embellishment is a big trend for the next season?
Yes, and lace. I certainly think that that's one of the big things that came out of the royal wedding, this beautiful lace that she had on her gown. And so we're getting asked constantly for lace. And the other thing that we hear a lot for now is sleeves.
And that's drawing on the Kate Middleton.
The Kate Middleton wedding dress. Well, yes, I mean, I think it is very much pulling from her gown. But I think at the same time, for so many years, we've had strapless dresses. Now, strapless dresses are wonderful for the bride, of course. If you have the right skin tone, lovely shoulders, it does look very glamorous. It is beautiful. But I think so many girls have been to so many weddings where the girl is in a strapless dress that it also makes them feel, let me see a sleeve. Let me, you know, feel a little bit more covered. We've in actual fact done a fantastic range of shrugs this year, and they're not the standard shrug. They are high-necked and cut away at the back with long sleeves, so when you walk in it looks very classical in its effect, but then you take them off and you have the strapless dress underneath. And I think that that's really good fun, because then you can play with two completely different ideas.
So talk us through the first look we see on the model.
Okay, so the first dress that we have here is called Wistful. This is a bias cut gown, and as you can see, it's backless. This is very much sort of modern girl. This is done for weddings abroad, but also we see this a lot for sort of modern boutique weddings, where they're in a boutique hotel in London. Here we have a very heavy satin back crepe, which we then place Chantilly lace over, and then we have the silk tulle. We cut it so it's very heavy. It moves as you actually walk away from the body. So bias, I think a lot of the time people imagine you get sort of wrinkles down the side, or it clings, or it shows little bits of yourself you don't want to see. The way that this is actually created, it moves away from you, so you get the beauty of bias, but it's also quite forgiving.
And do you think that backless is a trend? You know, the
Oh, I think if a girl can wear backless, I think they love wearing backless. Absolutely, yes. Also for the weddings that we do in the south of France, Lake Como, all of these wonderful places where they go and hire a magnificent villa and have their weddings in the sun.
And what would you recommend to accessorise this dress?
Totally and utterly depends on the bride. This can look fantastic if you just literally have a one-tiered veil, but it also, if you have no veil at all, you sort of put very glamorous pieces in your hair, lovely side pieces, or maybe some antique sort of jewels on a ribbon tied underneath can look absolutely fantastic. Lovely bracelets.
Do you think brides are being a bit more adventurous about accessorising their wedding dresses?
Yes, certainly. Certainly there is a feel towards the idea that you can accessorise something to create the overall look.
So should we talk about the second look on the model today? This is a more traditional style gown, isn't it? More sort of fitted, but still drawing on the modern look.
One fine day.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yes, this is. It's very fitted. We base this, and so we've got quite a lot of bone work underneath the gown. It's fantastic in its wonderful simplicity, but it moves very beautifully. It's in a very heavy silk Duchess satin. Now this sort of gown is exactly what I was saying before. You can glamorize this gown very, very easily by the accessories that you use, but at the same time, if you want to have a more played down version, it can look very, very simple as well.
And would this shape suit any kind of figure, or do you need to have a certain kind of shape to pull this dress off?
It does suit a lot of figures. Because of the fact that you have a shoulder, it looks very, very good with the V-neck on somebody who's fuller busted. So that is fantastic. And the way that we cut these gowns, it's a lot of optical illusion. So yes, a girl up to a sort of size 16 would look very, very good in a gown like this.
And so the third look, talk us through this style.
Okay, so this is a walk in the park, yes. You can see the mood I was in on this day. One fine day, a walk in the park.
It's so romantic though, and you can see that throughout your whole collection, can't you? It's that romance, glamour.
It's a very natural sort of coloured ivory, and we have the big beaded belt around the waist, which just adds that sort of sense of glamour again. But this is what I mean when I say you have that relaxed glamour feel. It's a very relaxed dress in the way that it actually moves. It's very simplistic. It's got a lovely shaping to it, but the glamour with the belt around the waist just adds that spark.
And this is your more traditional shape, isn't
yes,
it?
Yes, absolutely. Much more traditional styling.
Do you think, since the royal wedding, that's an influence on girls perhaps going back to that sort of slightly fuller skirted dress?
I have to say, I think that fuller skirts, we're doing a lot more fuller skirts, and yes, I think that it certainly influenced girls having a full skirt. But I think that a lot of the time that we're having full skirts now, but with less petticoats, so there's a lot of fabric, but it will flow and just move very, very simply around your legs, rather than be standing out. So you see a lot more full skirts, but just very, very soft in their movement.
And what do you think about veils? Is there a trend that you've seen?
I love veils.
Yeah.
Everybody that sees me, I will try and persuade to wear a veil.
Yeah.
Simply because I think this is one day in your life when you can do that. And I think a lot of the time girls think either I'm too old or I would feel uncomfortable and I'd feel silly. But I think when they put that veil on, especially if it's a simple veil, just one tier, just very sheer, just flowing over the dress, and they look in the mirror, I think they see very quickly just how that can add to their overall look. And so many times a girl will say to me, well, I'll wear it just through the ceremony, I'll just wear it while we get married, and then I'm taking it straight off. And then when they come to see us afterwards, we say, did you decide not to take it off? And there they are at 1 o'clock in the morning, still dancing around and the veil's on. Because I think it makes people feel very special.
It is, that's beautiful. And do you think that sort of floor length, like longer veil, is?
Personally, I think everybody should always wear a long veil. The reason being is that if you wear veils that are cut off at different lengths, then the optical illusion to the eye is that you're getting breaks along the length of the dress. I don't think it creates that smooth line. The beauty of the shape should come from the dress, and then this is literally just an added touch over the top.
So what can a bride expect when they come to see a member of your team?
Well, at Castellano, we do work entirely by an appointment. So they would come along and see us for between an hour and a half and 2 hours. And the most important thing to us is that we really get to know and understand the bride. So we will spend a lot of time chatting with her friends, with her mother. So we really do get a complete picture of the wedding and what she wants to achieve. Because if we understand what she wants to achieve, many, many times you can achieve that overall look, but with different dresses and maybe different fabrics and different accessories to what she'd actually originally thought. But when she sees the overall picture in the mirror, she falls in love with it. So we really love to get to understand our brides. We'll then spend the time going through different silhouettes, so that it's not just that we're saying this is exactly what you should wear, we're actually showing them what different silhouettes do for them, what it does for their body, what lengthens, what makes them feel better, what's good, what size and balance works for them. So as they're making their decision about their wedding dress, they feel very, very certain that they know why they're making that decision and why what they're choosing is perfection for them.
So you offer a very personal service?
It's a highly personal service. We want our brides to feel like they become our friends. It's a very important experience, and I'd like to imagine that in 20 years' time, when they look back, they'll remember who looked after them at Caroline Castellano and that it was a fantastic experience.
Well, Caroline, thank you so much for speaking to me today.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for coming.